Today we are going to work on some cards using a new template. It's template number 6. It is similar to the other templates that we have in that there are 9 different card designs, but they all have the exact same elements. Some of them are just one of the elements is cut in half. Maybe multiples of the elements are cut in half, but they all are the same sizes. These two pieces put together are the 2-inch circle. The rectangle is a 3.5 by 2-inch rectangle. And then of course we have the card, the layering pieces here. The one is 5 1/4 by 4, and then the black layering piece is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Some cards have 2 circles, some have 3 circles that have been cut in half, some have a circle and then a circle that is cut in half. They all have the rectangle. They're all just done a little bit differently. No sentiments have been added to these templates, so you can add the sentiments however you want. I am going to be using a 2-inch scalloped circle punch from the Paper Studio, which is the Hobby Lobby brand, or was the Hobby Lobby brand. I'm not sure if that's still what it is or not, but this is from Hobby Lobby years ago. If you don't have a circle punch, you could use just cut a 2x2 square and do the kind of the same things. You could use anything that is a circle that is approximately 2 inches, like maybe you have a bottle of paint and you could draw around this and then cut it out. What I would probably do is draw around it, cut it out, and then use the other side, so that way if I didn't have cut perfectly on the line, I wouldn't see the line. And then I would probably, if I was doing that, I would just distress the edges of the circle a little bit, so that any imperfections would be hidden by the distressing. And the distressing is taking something like the Tim Holtz vintage photo and just going along the edge of the paper with it, just kind of going along like that. And that kind of hides any imperfection that may be on the edges of how you cut it if you don't cut it perfectly. So we are going to use a couple of sheets out of the Boho Vibes. That is the Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby. This is a couple years old. It's actually 10 years old. It's 2016. I think I got this last year, though. I don't think I've had it all that long. I know their prices have gone up, and they have different papers all the time, but I'm just going to use a couple from here. We have some black that we will use for layering pieces. I've already stamped a happy birthday. This will use, one of these two pieces we will use to layer behind here once we get that cut out. And then we have a layering piece that will go behind all of it. So we're going to kind of set that off to the side, and we're going to focus on taking some pages out of here. So I need a background piece, which is the white here, and then I need a piece for the circle and a piece for the rectangle. So I think this one would be a good background piece. I think I got both of them there. That would be a good background. This one, since I pulled it out, we'll go ahead and use this for the circles. So then I need something for the rectangles. So let's see what's in here that we might be able to use for the rectangles. I don't think any of these are the right size, but we could modify the rectangle if we wanted to. This is 3, almost a little bit more than 3. It's a little bit more than 2, and I don't think if we tried to just get the teepee in there, we might be able to do that. So if you had an image like that, you could make it work that way. I think I'm going to see what other paper we have in here before we decide to use that. Let's see. Should have probably picked them out first, but I'm going to go with, I think, this paper here. Okay, so I'm going to get my guillotine paper trimmer out. So I'm going to use my small Tim Holtz guillotine trimmer. This piece is going to be our white layering piece, which is the 4 by 5 1/4. keep these pieces. Even if you don't use them with these cards, you could potentially use them with another card. So that's our back layering piece that will be layered on our black 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 piece that I had already cut. I cut those because that was already cut because I cut my black paper down to be that size, so I usually have black card mats. And then this piece is going to be the 3-inch. If it's directional paper, you want to be sure you're paying attention to the direction. This one sort of is, but it'll be okay, I think, either way. But we are going to do, let's see, what is this? We're going to do a 2-inch, sorry, a 2-inch by 3.5 inch. And again, save these pieces. Even if we don't use them on this one, we will use them in a future one. And then we need 2 circles. We are going to do, I think we'll probably do this very first one here. So you can be choosy where you're getting your circle from. Let's say that we wanted our first circle to be kind of in the center here to get something like this. It's kind of off-centered, but let's say that's what we wanted. Or if we wanted this one in here, we would need to trim the paper down just a tad. So when we stick this in, we know we can't quite get to the end there. So let's cut off maybe about 1/2 inch. Yeah, let's start with 1/4. We can always cut more. Can't put it back on. So I like that. I'm gonna try to line that up so that gets right in the center. So there's our first piece. And then let's go ahead and cut this one. We'll try to get this one kind of with that more in the center towards the bottom. So there's our 2 circles that we need. And then I'm going to put this all off to the side as well and move our circle punch. So I said we were going to do this one here. So our layering piece, let's go like this. We're going to have this piece that goes across there like this. I think this one needs to go on here because the pinks will look better if we have them together. And then this one will go up here in the corner. And then we will have the happy birthday that comes down here someplace. So then that would go on there like that, and then that would go onto a card base. I'm going to work on our sentiment now. So I did stamp the happy birthday sentiment. It is out of the Stampabilities card freezes. I have had this one for a while, but we've used it in several of the other videos. Has the happy birthday, thank you, thinking of you. Lots of different sentiments. That's my favorite type of stamp set because I like the different sentiments all in one. Don't get me wrong, I have a lot of stamp sets that are not all the sentiments all in one, but I do like that about this one, is that it's got a bunch of sentiments all in one. So all I did was cut as close as I could without cutting either the H or the Y off. For me, I'm going to line up the tops of the tallest letters. So the H, the B, the H, the D. I'm going to line those up along the plastic part of my guide here, and then I'm going to turn around and do the same thing with the lowest hanging letters, which is the P's and the Y. And again, it's lining those up right along there. So that gives us about the same amount on either side. Then I'm going to take the black and lay my happy birthday down on the black, and then we're going to trim that. So then this would get glued down onto here, or like I said, on the other part, you could prop it up. But if I decided that I didn't want it portrait like this one is, I could lay this down and then do my happy birthday on here this way as well. So it could be a landscape card and I could open it up depending on which way I did my card. I prefer my card bases to be side folding. This one is a top folding. If I were to do this as a landscape, as a top folding, then when it opens up, get the card here, when it opens up, then it opens up and you have the biggest space going left to right instead of up to down, up and down. That's up to you how you want to do it and how you like it. All of these were laid out as though they are portrait, but they are not portrait because, again, there's no sentiment on them. So you can put the sentiment on there however you want. So I'm going to go ahead and, I think, put the sentiment on there. I think I might put it on there like that, just so that it's a little bit different. So we're going to kind of line it up. And then just kind of press it down. My ink should be dry, but if you had just stamped yours, be careful rubbing your finger across it, depending on the type of paper that you use, because it could smear your ink. So there is that card front, which is this card front here. I used another collection from Hobby Lobby that I had some paper left, but not a lot. It was the Farmhouse collection, and I made some other ones with it. So this one is a Get Well card, which is this one here. So it is 3 circles, and they've all been cut in half and then layered on either side of the card. This one is this one here. So again, a circle, another circle that was cut in half, and then just the rectangular piece with my sentiment there. Oops, got 2 of them there. This one has the rectangle piece here, a circle piece up here, and then another circle piece down here. This Thinking of You is this one here. So there's a half of my circle up here at the top. Then there's the rectangle, and then there's a circle behind the rectangle. And then the last one that I made here is this one down here, which there's the rectangle going up the center, 1 circle that has been cut in half and then put on either side of it with the sentiment going through the center. So all of these cards were pretty quick. I could have punched out a bunch of different circles and bunch of different bunch of different rectangles, and then I would have had a bunch of different cards that I could make, or even use them as a card kit. If I was going to be doing something with friends, I could cut out all of these different pieces and then just give them the template and let them choose which card they wanted to make. But it makes for some pretty quick cards. None of these are on a card base yet. They're not even on that black layering piece yet, but when I get ready to do any of these, I could decide if I wanted to put like this one on a pink instead of the black. Maybe I wanted it on tan instead of the black. This one I could put on a blue instead of the black. Same way with this one if I wanted to do it on blue instead of black. Or maybe I want to put it on white and do it on a black card base. There's a lot of different things that you could do. So as I've said in some of the other videos, just to get your juices going and to see if you like card making before you buy a lot of stuff, just do some card fronts. See if you like the card fronts. See if you like doing them. See if you can get into the groove of doing some. And then if you can, then you can start adding to your collection. You know, maybe you're going to add a die cutting machine or an electronic machine such as a Cricut or a Silhouette, something like that. All of those can come later once you've decided if you actually like doing the card making or not. And then once you start adding those machines, that opens up a whole nother world for you, and not just card making or not just scrapbooking. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I've got a few more card sketches that are coming with different sizes, so I will have those posted in the future. But until next time, go out there and get crafty. Talk to you later. Bye.